Gentlemen, let me be brutally honest with you. That cup of green tea you've been drinking every morning, thinking it's keeping you healthy, protecting your heart, and maybe even helping your manhood, it's doing almost nothing for you. In fact, for most men over 60, it's practically useless. I know that sounds harsh, but what if I told you that your so-called healthy ritual might be quietly robbing you of the very vitality you're trying to preserve? I'm Dr. Mohit Kara, a board-certified urologist and men's health specialist. For over 30 years, I've helped thousands of men regain their energy, confidence, and performance, naturally. I've spent my career studying how a man's body changes with age, and what I'm about to share with you could completely transform the way you think about something as simple as your morning tea. Here's the strange truth. Green tea is packed with life-enhancing compounds, yet your body can't actually use them. You're taking in all the right ingredients, but your system, especially after 60, can't absorb them. It's like pouring high-octane fuel into a car with a broken engine. Nothing happens. But there's one simple, inexpensive ingredient, something already sitting in your kitchen, that can change everything. One pinch of this, and suddenly your green tea becomes a potent elixir for energy, circulation, and masculine strength. In just a moment, I'll reveal exactly what that ingredient is, how it works inside your body, and why adding it to your tea each morning could bring back a kind of power you haven't felt in years. Stay with me, because this small secret can change your life. Before we dive in, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss another science-backed tip to keep your energy, circulation, and vitality strong. And if you're ready to make your green tea truly powerful, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I always appreciate your feedback to help me create better content for you. Alright, let's get into it. Before I reveal the secret ingredient, you need to understand why your daily cup of green tea, no matter how organic or expensive, might be doing almost nothing for your body. The truth begins with a powerful myth that most men have believed for decades. 1. The myth of the healthy green tea habit. For years, I did exactly what many of my patients still do today. I'd start my morning with a warm cup of green tea, feeling proud that I was doing something healthy, something smart. I believed it was helping my metabolism, protecting my heart, maybe even slowing down aging. It felt good to sip that tea and think, I'm doing the right thing. But what I didn't realize back then, and what most men over 60 still don't know, is that this ritual, this symbol of health and vitality, often does almost nothing for your body once you reach a certain age. Green tea has been marketed as a miracle drink for decades. It's praised for its antioxidants, its ability to fight fat, and even for improving brain function. You'll find it in every grocery store, every health article, every wellness commercial. It's become part of the identity of healthy living. But here's the uncomfortable truth. For most men past middle age, your body isn't absorbing the very nutrients that make green tea powerful. You're drinking all the right things, but getting none of the results. Let's get a little scientific for a moment. The magic compound in green tea is called EGCG, short for epigallocatechin galate. It's one of nature's strongest antioxidants, known to reduce inflammation, boost metabolism, and protect your blood vessels. Think of it as the body's internal shield against the wear and tear of time. The problem? EGCG is fragile. It breaks down easily under heat, light, and stomach acid. From the moment your hot water hits the tea leaves, that compound begins to deteriorate. By the time it travels down your throat, through your stomach, and into your small intestine, its potency is a shadow of what it once was. And if you're over 60, that problem only gets worse. The older male body doesn't absorb nutrients the same way it did in youth. Your gut lining becomes thinner and less efficient. Your stomach acid becomes more aggressive. Your liver metabolizes compounds faster, sometimes before they even have a chance to enter your bloodstream. So while your cup of tea is rich with potential, your body simply isn't receiving its benefits. You're left with a comforting routine that tastes good, but does very little. I've had countless patients come to my office saying, "Doc, I don't understand. I eat healthy, I drink green tea every morning, but I still feel tired, I still have low energy, and my blood pressure keeps creeping up." And every time, I have to explain that it's not their effort that's the problem. It's the delivery system. They're putting premium fuel into a car with clogged filters. It looks right, it sounds right, but nothing is reaching the engine. There's also a deeper psychological aspect here. As men age, we cling to habits that give us a sense of control. That morning cup becomes symbolic, a quiet moment of discipline and care. You tell yourself it's helping, that it's keeping you strong, even if deep down you know you're not feeling the difference anymore. And I understand that feeling because I've been there too. You want to believe that something so simple could hold the key to your longevity, but belief alone doesn't unlock results. Biology does. And biology is clear. Without the right support, those powerful antioxidants in green tea are wasted. They pass through your system, unabsorbed, unutilized, and unappreciated. It's not your fault. No one ever told you that green tea, despite all its hype, has a fatal flaw, a weakness that makes it nearly ineffective for older men. But here's the good news. There's a fix. A simple, natural solution that doesn't involve pills, powders, or expensive supplements. It's an ingredient you already have in your kitchen, something so ordinary that you probably overlook it every single day. When combined with green tea, it acts like a biological key, unlocking the nutrients, protecting them from destruction, and delivering them deep into your bloodstream where they can actually make a difference. This small addition can transform your green tea from a useless habit into a powerful daily medicine for your heart, your energy, and your masculine vitality. So before you pour your next cup, let me show you why your body has been failing to absorb those nutrients, and the one simple way to fix it forever. 2. The hidden reason: a failing delivery system. When I first started practicing medicine, I used to think that if someone ate well and drank the right things, their body would naturally absorb the benefits. I truly believed that the human body was efficient enough to take care of itself. But after decades of treating men in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, I learned something that completely changed how I view nutrition and aging. The problem isn't always what you eat or drink, it's how your body processes it. And for most older men, that system isn't working the way it used to. As we age, everything slows down: our metabolism, our hormone production, and most importantly, our nutrient absorption. You can be putting the best foods into your body, yet still be starving at a cellular level. I see this every day in my clinic. Men who take vitamins, drink green tea, eat clean, and still feel tired, foggy, and weak. It's not laziness or lack of effort. It's a mechanical issue within the body's internal machinery. The delivery system is breaking down. Let's go back to green tea for a moment. The compound we talked about earlier, EGCG, is like a delicate, high-value package that needs to be delivered to your cells. But here's what happens in most men over 60. The delivery truck never makes it. The moment EGCG hits the hot water, a portion is destroyed by heat. When it passes through your stomach, more of it is neutralized by acid. Then, as it travels into your small intestine, the remaining fraction encounters enzymes and bacteria that degrade it even further. By the time what's left reaches your bloodstream, it's almost gone. That's why so many men come to me saying, "Doc, I'm doing everything right, but nothing's changing." They're not wrong. They're just victims of a failing delivery system. You see, after 60, the protective mucosal lining in your gut starts to thin out. Your stomach acid becomes more corrosive. Your digestive enzymes don't fire the same way. The liver, which is responsible for processing nutrients, becomes less selective and more aggressive, breaking down compounds before they can even be used. All of this means that powerful antioxidants like EGCG are essentially destroyed before they can help you. It's frustrating, I know. You spend money on quality tea, you make time every morning to drink it, and yet your body treats it like background noise. I've looked into the blood work of patients who drink green tea daily, and what we often find is almost no measurable increase in antioxidant levels. It's like filling a bucket with holes. No matter how much you pour in, it keeps leaking out. And here's where things get personal. I remember a time in my early 40s when I started feeling my own body change. My mornings were slower, my recovery from exercise took longer, and my focus wasn't as sharp. I was doing all the right things, or so I thought, But when I tested my nutrient absorption, the numbers were lower than I expected. That's when it hit me. Our bodies aren't just aging on the outside, they're aging on the inside too. The gut, the liver, the cells themselves, they all need help delivering what we consume to where it actually matters. So when you drink that cup of green tea, you might be getting only a fraction of its true potential. You have the right key, but the lock has rusted. And that's why men who look healthy on the surface often struggle with low energy, poor circulation, and fading sexual performance. Their cells are starving for nutrients that never arrive. But here's the exciting part. Once you fix this delivery problem, everything changes. Energy comes back. Circulation improves. Even your testosterone levels respond better because your cells finally get the fuel they've been missing. It's not about drinking more green tea. It's about drinking it right. And the secret to doing that? It's surprisingly simple. There's one common kitchen ingredient that acts like a protective shield and delivery truck in one. When you add it to your tea, it helps every beneficial compound survive the journey, get absorbed, and finally do its job. It's the missing link between drinking green tea and actually feeling its power, and I'll reveal exactly what it is next. 3. The secret ingredient: black pepper, Piperine. I'll never forget the moment I discovered how something as ordinary as black pepper could change everything. It was years ago, during my residency, when I was studying how certain herbs and compounds interact in the human body. I came across a small study from India, and it stopped me in my tracks. The research showed that a single compound found in black pepper could make nutrients dramatically more absorbable, up to 20 times more effective. That compound was called Piperine, and from that day forward, I started to see this humble spice in a completely new light. For most people, black pepper is nothing more than a seasoning, something you sprinkle on eggs or a steak. But in medicine, we see it as one of the most powerful natural delivery enhancers on Earth. Piperine works by temporarily slowing down the enzymes in your gut and liver that normally break down nutrients. In simple terms, it gives your body a chance to absorb what you consume before it gets destroyed or excreted. It's like protecting your valuable cargo long enough for it to reach its destination. Now, when it comes to green tea, Piperine is a true game changer. Remember how we said that the compounds in green tea, especially EGCG, are fragile? They start breaking down the moment they hit heat or acid. But when you add just a tiny pinch of freshly ground black pepper, something remarkable happens. The Piperine forms a protective shield around those antioxidants, slowing down their breakdown and helping them move intact through the digestive tract. Instead of being lost along the way, they finally make it into your bloodstream, where they can get to work repairing cells, reducing inflammation, and improving blood flow. The science behind this is fascinating, but the results are even more powerful. In clinical studies, Piperine has been shown to increase the absorption of certain nutrients by up to 2,000%. That means the same cup of green tea that used to do almost nothing can suddenly become one of the most potent health tonics you'll ever drink. I've seen this transformation firsthand in my patients. Men who used to complain about fatigue, stiffness, or poor performance start to report better energy, clearer focus, and even more confidence in the bedroom. And it all started with one small addition: a pinch of black pepper. Let me share a story that stuck with me. One of my longtime patients, a 68-year-old retired engineer, came to me frustrated. "Doc, I'm doing everything right," he said. "I drink green tea every morning. I exercise. I eat well, but I still feel sluggish." I told him to try one small change: add a twist of black pepper to his tea. He looked skeptical, but he did it. 3 weeks later, he walked into my office with a grin on his face. "You were right," he said. "It's like someone flipped a switch. My mornings feel lighter. My circulation is better. I even feel more alert during the day." That's the kind of quiet transformation Piperine can create. But there's one critical detail most people overlook. You must use freshly ground pepper. The pre-ground powder that's been sitting in your kitchen cabinet for years has already lost most of its potency. The active compound, Piperine, starts to break down as soon as it's exposed to air and light. That's why I always recommend investing in a small pepper grinder and keeping it by your tea kettle. Every twist releases Piperine in its most powerful form, pure, fresh, and ready to work. The best part is, you don't need much. Just a pinch is enough. You can barely taste it, but your body will feel the difference. Over time, this one small ritual can lower inflammation, improve nutrient absorption, and enhance blood flow. The trifecta every man over 60 needs to stay strong and vital. So, the next time you reach for your cup of green tea, remember this. It's not just what you drink, it's how you prepare it. That single twist of fresh pepper could be the key to unlocking all the power your body's been missing. And if you're wondering just how this simple change translates into better blood flow, stronger vitality, and improved performance where it matters most, the next part will make everything crystal clear. 4. Why this matters for men's potency. Every man eventually reaches a point where he starts to notice small changes that are hard to ignore. Maybe your mornings don't feel as powerful as they used to. Maybe you wake up without that natural drive you once took for granted. Or maybe you notice that your body doesn't respond quite the same way it used to during moments of intimacy. I see it every day in my practice, and I've lived long enough to know it's not just about aging, it's about circulation, energy, and chemistry. And this is exactly where green tea, when combined with black pepper, becomes something far more than a simple beverage. It becomes medicine for the male body. Let me explain why. The key to a strong, healthy erection isn't just testosterone, it's blood flow. Erections are, at their core, a vascular event. They depend on how efficiently your arteries expand and how much nitric oxide your body can produce. Nitric oxide is the molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and open up, allowing more blood to rush where it's needed most. But as men get older, the delicate lining of those blood vessels, called the endothelium, starts to weaken. It becomes stiff, inflamed, and less responsive. In other words, the pipes narrow, and pressure builds where flow should be smooth. This is where inflammation becomes the silent destroyer of male vitality. It's not just about pain or fatigue. Inflammation literally attacks the inner lining of your arteries, damaging your ability to produce nitric oxide naturally. And when that happens, blood flow suffers, not just to your heart and brain, but to the most sensitive part of your anatomy as well. That's why so many men who look fit and healthy on the outside still struggle privately with poor performance. Their blood vessels are quietly aging faster than the rest of them. Now, when you combine green tea with black pepper, something extraordinary happens. The piperine in pepper amplifies the absorption of EGCG, the antioxidant in green tea that directly combats inflammation in the blood vessels. Together, they help calm that internal fire, repair the endothelial lining, and restore the flexibility that's essential for proper circulation. In simpler terms, they give your blood vessels back their youth. I've seen men in their 60s and 70s experience dramatic improvements just by making this small change. Their blood pressure evens out, their stamina improves, and their confidence starts to return. They move with a little more energy, stand a little taller, and, most importantly, they begin to feel like themselves again. And when that happens, something deeper shifts too. They start to believe in their body again. Because here's the truth. When blood flow improves, everything improves. Your heart pumps stronger, your brain gets sharper, your muscles recover faster, and yes, your intimate life becomes more alive. It's not about chasing some unrealistic version of youth. It's about restoring what was always yours. One of my patients once told me, "Doc, it's not just that I feel better physically. It's that I finally feel like a man again." That moment hit me hard, because it reminded me that what we're talking about here isn't just biology, it's identity. When a man's circulation returns, his vitality, his sense of confidence, even his joy, follows. And the beauty of it all is that nature gave us the tools for this restoration long before modern medicine ever existed. You don't need a prescription to unlock this potential. You just need to understand how to help your body absorb what it already needs. That's what black pepper and green tea together can do. Restore the natural chemistry of strength, flow, and energy that aging tries to take away. But there's more. Because while this simple duo works wonders, there are two additional ingredients, equally ancient, equally powerful, that can take this ritual to an entirely new level. They not only improve blood flow, but also support your metabolism, your energy, and even your hormonal balance. I'll show you exactly what they are and how to use them next. 5. The right way to use it and bonus enhancers. When I tell my patients about adding black pepper to their green tea, the first reaction I usually get is disbelief. Pepper? In my tea? You must be joking. I smile, because I know how strange it sounds. But once they try it, once they feel the difference for themselves, that hesitation quickly turns into gratitude, because this small, inexpensive step can turn a common beverage into a potent daily ritual that works on every level of your health. But as with everything in medicine, the way you do it matters. Let's start with the basics. You don't need much, just a pinch of freshly ground black pepper. The key word here is freshly ground. I can't emphasize that enough. The pepper that's been sitting pre-ground in a jar for months has already lost most of its power. The compound we're after, Piperine, starts degrading the moment it's exposed to air and light. That's why you need a simple pepper grinder, the kind you can find at any grocery store. Twist it once over your cup, let the freshly released pepper settle into your tea, and stir it gently. That's it. That small act is the difference between a weak antioxidant beverage and a potent medicinal elixir. You might wonder about the taste. Yes, there's a mild spice, a subtle kick at the back of your throat, but it's brief and oddly invigorating. Many men grow to like it because that slight burn reminds them that something is happening, that their body is waking up. You can even start with just a half pinch and adjust it as you go. If you're sensitive to the taste, or simply prefer something smoother, you can switch or even combine it with a squeeze of lemon or lime. Citrus juice is a powerful natural enhancer for green tea because of its high vitamin C content. The ascorbic acid in fresh lemon binds to the fragile antioxidants in green tea and protects them as they pass through your stomach. Think of it as armor, keeping the EGCG molecules stable long enough to reach your bloodstream. And once again, it's so simple. A small squeeze of fresh lemon, not bottled juice, right after your tea has cooled slightly. The aroma alone feels rejuvenating, but the effect goes much deeper. You're giving your tea the protection it needs to do its job. Now, for men who want to take things further, there are two more powerful ingredients that complement this ritual beautifully. The first is ginger. Fresh ginger root has been used for centuries to improve circulation and digestion. When you add a small slice to your tea, or even half a teaspoon of ginger powder, it gives your system a warm, inner fire. I've seen men who suffer from cold hands and feet, or sluggish blood flow, feel their energy lift within days. It's not an aggressive heat, it's gentle, natural, like your body's internal engine slowly turning back on. The second is cinnamon, specifically Ceylon cinnamon. This is not the overly sweet, cheap variety you find in mass-market spice jars. Ceylon cinnamon has been shown in numerous studies to balance blood sugar and improve insulin sensitivity, both of which are crucial for men's hormonal health. Stable blood sugar means stable energy, fewer crashes, and better testosterone balance. It also supports lean muscle and helps reduce that stubborn midsection fat that so many older men struggle with. A half teaspoon mixed into your tea adds a smooth, comforting warmth that pairs beautifully with the pepper and ginger. When you make this small ritual part of your morning, you're doing more than just drinking tea. You're training your body to respond better, to absorb better, to heal better. And if you're wondering how long it takes to feel a difference, I usually tell my patients, give it 3 weeks. In that short time, your body begins to adapt. The inflammation starts to cool. Circulation improves. Your mornings start to feel clearer. It's not an overnight miracle, it's biology working the way it was always meant to. Now, here's the beautiful part. When these ingredients come together, something remarkable happens. It's not just about flavor, it's about synergy. Each one supports the other, amplifying its power. Your green tea stops being a drink and starts becoming a signal to your body to wake up, to repair, to restore. But the real secret isn't just in what you mix, it's in how often you do it. Because at this stage in life, consistency is the true medicine. And that's what we'll explore next, the quiet power of repetition, and why the men who thrive in their 60s and 70s aren't the ones who do the most, but the ones who do a little every single day. 6. Consistency over intensity. When I talk to men in their 60s and 70s about restoring their health, most of them are looking for something big, a breakthrough, a miracle, a dramatic fix that will turn back the clock overnight. I understand that impulse. When you start feeling your energy fade or your body slow down, it's natural to want a fast solution. But after more than 30 years as a physician, I've learned something profoundly simple. The men who truly transform their health aren't the ones who go all in for a month. They're the ones who make small, consistent choices every single day. You see, your body at 60 or 70 isn't built for shock. It's built for rhythm. It doesn't need intensity, it needs consistency. That's where true healing happens. You don't need to chase the latest superfood or endure brutal exercise routines. You just need to give your body what it needs, regularly, gently, and with purpose. That's why this simple habit, adding one small, intentional ingredient to your morning tea, can make such a powerful difference, because it's not just about the ingredient itself, it's about the message you're sending to your body. I'm paying attention again. I remember one of my patients, George, a 72-year-old former pilot. He came to me frustrated after years of trying everything, diets, supplements, even testosterone therapy. Nothing seemed to last. I told him, "George, you don't need more effort. You need more rhythm." He laughed, but he took it to heart. Every morning, he started his day with green tea, black pepper, and lemon. No shortcuts, no skipping. 3 weeks later, he told me he didn't just feel better physically. He felt calmer, more grounded, more focused. He said, "Doc, I'm finally feeling like my engine's idling smooth again." That's the power of consistency. It doesn't just heal your body, it recalibrates your life. When you make this small act a daily ritual, something shifts internally. Your body starts to trust you again. Your blood vessels respond, your metabolism steadies, and your hormones begin to balance. You may not notice it immediately, but with each passing day, your internal systems begin to work in harmony again. It's quiet progress, like the slow but steady sunrise that brings warmth before you even see the light. Too many men give up because they don't see instant results. But healing doesn't happen on your schedule, it happens on your body's schedule. And when you keep showing up for yourself, day after day, that effort compounds. It's like water carving through rock, soft, persistent, unstoppable. One pinch of pepper, one squeeze of lemon, one mindful sip of tea, that's all it takes to begin the process of reclaiming vitality. The beauty of this practice is that it's sustainable. You don't have to remember pills, you don't have to follow a complicated plan. You simply wake up, boil your water, add your ingredients, and start your day with intention. Over time, it becomes second nature. You stop thinking about it as a health hack and start recognizing it as a quiet moment of strength, your way of investing in the man you still are. And here's something I've noticed. When men commit to one small healthy habit, it sparks a ripple effect. They start walking a little more, eating a little better, sleeping a little deeper. It's not forced, it's a natural extension of the discipline they've built through consistency. That's why I always tell my patients, don't aim for perfection, aim for repetition. Because consistency doesn't just change your health, it changes your mindset. It teaches your body that it's safe to heal, and your mind that it's never too late to begin again. So as you continue this journey, remember this truth. Real transformation isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, patient, and persistent. Keep showing up for yourself, even on the days you don't feel like it, because the changes happening inside you are building towards something extraordinary. And if you've been wondering what all this consistency is leading to, what you can expect after just 3 weeks of doing this simple ritual, then what comes next will open your eyes. Because when your body finally begins to absorb what it's been missing, the transformation that follows is something every man deserves to experience. 7. The transformation you can expect. If you've been following this far, you already understand the science. You know why green tea alone isn't enough, why adding black pepper unlocks its power, and why consistency, not intensity, is the real key to change. But now, let's talk about what happens next. What you can actually expect to feel, to see, to live, when your body finally starts to absorb what it's been missing for years. Most men don't realize how much vitality they've lost until it starts to return. It doesn't happen overnight, but one morning you'll notice something subtle. You wake up more alert, your mind clearer, your energy steadier. The fog that's been sitting behind your eyes begins to lift. You don't reach for that second cup of coffee out of exhaustion. You sip it simply because you enjoy it. That's the first sign that your body's metabolism and circulation are syncing again. Then, something even more interesting happens. Your endurance, both mental and physical, begins to build back up. Climbing stairs doesn't feel like a chore anymore. Your walk has a little more purpose. Your muscles don't feel as stiff. These are quiet victories, but for men over 60, they're monumental. It's your body's way of saying, I remember how to work again. And yes, when your circulation improves, your performance follows. Erections become firmer, more reliable, more natural, not forced, not mechanical, just as they should be. That's the beauty of addressing the root cause instead of masking the symptom. When your blood vessels heal and your hormones stabilize, everything downstream benefits. I've had patients tell me, sometimes in a whisper, that they feel like they've rediscovered their youth, not because they're chasing it, but because they've reawakened something that was simply dormant. But there's more than just physical change here. When your energy returns, so does your confidence. You start to carry yourself differently. You laugh more. You feel present in conversations instead of drifting in fatigue. The men who commit to this small ritual often tell me that their relationships begin to shift too, not because they're suddenly different people, but because they're showing up with more life, more warmth, more presence. That's the real transformation, when the inside begins to reflect on the outside. Your skin starts to glow a little more because of better blood flow. Your digestion improves because your metabolism is stabilizing. Even your sleep deepens as your nervous system calms down from reduced inflammation. This isn't just about male potency, it's about total vitality. Your body is interconnected. When one system starts to heal, others follow. The tea becomes more than a drink. It becomes a daily message of care, of attention, of renewal. And perhaps the most powerful part is how sustainable it feels. You don't crash, you don't burn out, you don't lose motivation after a week. Because this change doesn't rely on willpower, it relies on biology doing what it's meant to do. Your body wants to heal. It's been waiting for the right conditions. You're simply giving it what it needs to finally do its job again. One of my patients, Arthur, a 68-year-old retired firefighter, told me something I'll never forget. He said, "Doc, I thought I was just getting old. But now I realize I was just getting careless." That struck me deeply because it's the truth for so many men. Aging isn't the enemy, neglect is. When you pay attention again, when you nourish your body and give it consistency, you reignite that spark that's been there all along. So, when you commit to this small act each morning, don't think of it as just a drink. Think of it as a promise to yourself, a promise to stay strong, vibrant, and alive. Because what's coming next is more than just information. It's the heart of it all. In the next part, I'll tell you exactly why this ritual could be the single most important thing you do for your vitality, and how missing it, even for a few days, can quietly undo everything you've worked for. Stay with me, because this final truth might just redefine the way you think about aging forever. 8. The final word, a ritual that redefines aging. So here's the truth, plain and simple. Your green tea was never the problem. It was your body's ability to use it. By adding just one mindful ingredient, whether it's a pinch of black pepper or a squeeze of lemon, you've turned a routine into a remedy. You've reclaimed something that time tried to take away: your strength, your vitality, your quiet confidence. I've seen it happen again and again, and it never fails to move me. Because when a man over 60 decides he's not done yet, when he chooses to nurture his body instead of surrendering to age, that's real power. This is your moment to turn something ordinary into something transformative. Start tomorrow morning. Stir that cup. Breathe deeply. And remember, you're not just drinking tea, you're rewriting the story of your life, one sip at a time.